Space enabled all these emotes on my OBS, and now I see them. I've never seen Is That a Rat? I just assumed it was a rat.
People pug, wow.
Wow.
About it channel chat Maya he freeze keep me relevant.
There is a Wine About It channel. Go sub to it. Leakerson. Thank you for the Prime. Milestone, thank you for the 5 months.
Wow.
Command Wine. Hassan banned me. Oh, you probably deserved it, Chatter.
People pug, wow.
Probably
Maybe
said something
you
about
got the plague
the
from
fact
the
that
rat's kappa.
he doesn't let homeless people live in his giant house, which makes him a hypocrite. And they said, what the fuck kind of take is that, dude? No, I just said bad take.
People pug, wow.
Well, probably got banned
strong.
because it was a good one. You take any medicine? Oh, I threw up. Not quite. When I got home from Alveus, I was just like over the toilet, like throwing up or trying to throw up, but I didn't actually throw up. I was just dry heaving a lot. I think that it's because I took Dayquil on an empty stomach. I think that's why.
People pug, wow.
Thank you. I did that in the morning before I went to Alveus because I didn't want to be stuffy for the stream, but I didn't eat anything, and I think it messed with me. I don't know. Is it just the flu? I don't know. I think we've forgotten in the past year that you can be sick and it not be COVID. You know, because I'm taking tests every morning and they're negative, and I'm like, why am I sick then? You know, and it's like I guess I just have a cold. So yeah. Can I tell you guys about a show I've been watching? Thank you for the 16 months. Boris, thank you. Active Nate Dog. You guys are saying no, but you don't really have a choice unless you want to mute me. So I've been watching a show called Alone, right? And they send 10 people out to remote locations in British Columbia, or that's the current season anyway. It's whoever survives the longest gets $500,000. Whew, that's a lot of cash. And it is sick. I can't believe what they're capable of doing. They start building shelters at the beginning, and they're building actual log cabins, guys. They get to bring 10 items out there with them, and a lot of them brought a handsaw, and they cut trees and build cabins for themselves. They insulate it with moss, and it looks like an actual house. One guy made a door handle. It is a door that closes with hinges. One guy shot a deer. Another guy, he shot a deer with a bow and arrow, killed it with a bow and arrow, hung all the meat so that bears couldn't get it in a tree, and then built a smokehouse with logs and ran paracord across the logs inside of the smokehouse to smoke all his deer meat. He got like 60 pounds of meat off of a buck that he killed with a bow and arrow, and now he has food for like months. He's OP. I hope he won. I think he's going to. I'm not there yet. But that's crazy. One guy made a boat. He made a boat with a tarp and willow branches. One guy made a pipe with wood so he could smoke the leaves out there. Can we watch it on stream? No, it's a Netflix show. People are saying Will Neff is watching it, but I don't know how. What did the woman make? There's a woman who made a shelter. He deletes his VODs, but he just watches it on his stream. Or he does watch parties. There's a woman who found a moose jawbone, and she used it as a shovel. And she dug out like a 6 foot or 7 by 7 trench so that her shelter could be underground, so she could insulate it. And she made a chimney out of rocks on one side so she can have a fire inside of it. Because she was like, I know for a fact that there are men in this competition that have way more body fat on me, and I will not lose in a starvation contest because I don't have body fat. So she made a really warm shelter. She hasn't lost yet. I haven't seen her leave yet. It's called Alone. It's a really good show. You should watch it. It's interesting. Is that right? How many days could you survive?
Wow. Yo,
realistically,
anything new with Alveus?
Thanks. Yeah, we got 3 new chickens. How long would I survive? Realistically, no more than a week. And I would be like crawling on the ground, I think, by the 7th day. Because I'm not capable of shooting game with bow and arrow. And I'm not capable of fishing with I couldn't make myself a fishing rod and reel and catch a fish. And I wouldn't, like right now, I wouldn't know what plants I could eat out there. So I couldn't ID much to actually eat. And I have no body fat to keep me going. So there's just no way. Because you don't want to kill her because you can't use a bow. Because I can't use a bow. I would have no problem. I actually had a moment of realization when I was watching it yesterday. I truly don't have a problem with the consumption of animal products if it's done ethically and with traceability. Because I would not have a problem shooting game if I ate it. It's not an ethics thing for me. It's a problem with the industry and it's an environmental thing for me.
Wow.
Except there's ethics in like I want the animals that I eat to be treated well, right? That's an industry problem as well. But I don't have a problem with actually with you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Sorry, I didn't say that very articulately. Gabo, thank you for the 10 months. Steph, thank you. Tessaru, thank you. Yasmina Crafts, thank you. Do you think wildlife rehab made you desensitized to animals dying? No, I think my childhood made me desensitized to animals dying. Hey, White Crow, what's up? Animals died when I was growing up like every week. On the farm. My dogs used to kill my favorite rabbits all the time, and I'd be like, fuck. That sucks. And then when I went to college, I had to euthanize a bunch of animals to feed our carnivores, the tiger and the bears and stuff. So I've had to kill lots of animals in my lifetime. Guess we're eating rabbit for dinner tonight. We didn't eat any of those rabbits. One time, though, I did try to bury a rabbit that my dog killed. My mom's dog killed, I should say. Not mine. My mom's dog. And I tried to bury it, and a coyote dug it up overnight. So the next morning I went out, and all of Penny's remains were scattered in the yard. And I was like, you know what? That's worse than her dying. I love that thing. That was one of my favorite rabbits that we had. We had a group of we had a rabbit that had 7 babies, and she had 2 in every color, for some reason, or like she had pairs of each color. Like there were 2 black ones and 2 brown ones and 2 white ones, whatever. And I really loved that litter, and so I had this box that fit them all perfectly. It's just a little rectangular box, and I would go outside and I would kidnap them, and I would take them from the mom, and I would color coordinate them in the box, and I would carry the box around. And then my mom, my family would be like, there's Maya with all of her baby rabbits. And I named all of them, and I loved all of those rabbits. And then, I would bring them back and give them back to the mom so they could eat. And then they all grew up to be adult rabbits. And then my favorite one, Penny, was killed by my mother's dog. Now they're all dead. Because that's when I was like 8. What were their names? The only one I remember is Penny, but I'm sure there was an Oreo in there. I'm sure of it. You know what? There's a picture somewhere. Some of y'all remember this conversation. Someday I'll find the picture. There's a picture of my box with the rabbits color coordinated. There is a picture of that exists. I can see it in my head, but I don't know where it is.
We've got a #1 victory royale. Yeah, Fortnite, we about to get down. 10 kills on the board right now. Just wiped out Tomato Town.
My friend just got down.
I revived him, now we're heading southbound. Now we're in the Pleasant Park Street.
Look at the map. Go to the mark sheet.